the couples it's on my chin. How rude.
Eve. No, Pooh Bear.
They're all very strategically leaning on each other.
No. Pooh Bear! Sit up! Screw you!
Welcome back to Every Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess and I'm watching Every Disney Movie Ever. Today I'm going to talk about Toy Story and we have Mariah!
Hey.
She is back. Back again. Guess who's back? Tell a friend.
Shady's back.
Toy Story is a 1995 Pixar animated theatrical release. It is directed by John Lasseter, who is best known for all the Pixar movies, but Cars, all the Toy Story movies, Bug's Life, etc. Directing animators include Brannon, Quade, and Peter Docter. Brannon is best known for Surf's Up, Rock Dog, A Bug's Life, and Toy Story 2.
Quade is best known for The Incredibles, A Bug's Life, Sandance, and Monsters, Inc.
Peter Docter is best known for Up, Inside Out, Monsters, Inc., and WALL-E. The film is edited by Robert Gordon and Lee Unkrich. Robert Gordon is best known for The Blue Lagoon, The Return of the Living Dead, Revenge of the Red Baron, and this.
Lee Unkrich is best known for Coco, Finding Nemo, and this franchise. The music was done by Randy Newman, and he's best known for Monk, The Princess and the Frog, and this franchise.
The film is written by Joss Whedon, Andrew Stanton, Joel Cohen, and Alec Sokolow. Joss Whedon is best known for Buffy and the Vampire Slayer, Angel, The Cabin in the Woods, and The Avengers.
Andrew Stanton is best known for WALL-E, Finding Nemo, Finding Dory, and Toy Story 2.
Joel Cohen is best known for Money Talks, Cheaper by the Dozen, Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties, and this.
Alec Sokolow is best known for Money Talks, I Am Jane Doe, Cheaper by the Dozen, and this.
The film stars Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Don Rickles, Jim Varney, Wallace Shawn, John Ratzenberger, Annie Potts, John Morris, Eric Von Detten, and Debbie Derryberry. Tom Hanks plays Woody and is best known for Big, Forrest Gump, Castaway, and Saving Private Ryan.
Tim Allen plays Buzz Lightyear, and we covered him in the Santa Claus video. The link is in the description.
Don Rickles plays Mr. Potato Head and is best known for Kelly's Heroes, Casino, and this and the sequel.
Jim Varney plays Slinky, and he's best known for Ernest Goes to Camp, Atlantis the Lost Empire, this, and the sequel.
Wallace Shawn plays Rex and is best known for The Princess Bride, My Dinner with Andre, The Incredibles, and this.
John Ratzenberger plays Ham, and he's best known for Cheers and all the Pixar movies, The Incredibles, WALL-E, this, you name it, he's in it.
Annie Potts plays Bo Peep and is best known for Pretty in Pink, Ghostbusters, Designing Women, and this franchise.
John Morris plays Andy, and he's best known for The Nightmare Before Christmas and this franchise.
Eric Von Detten plays Sid, and I covered him in the video about Escape to Witch Mountain. Link will be in the description.
Debbie Derryberry plays the aliens, and she is best known for Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, F is for Family, Crash Bandicoot, The Wrath of Cortex, and this.
This was, as many of you know, the first completely computer animated feature film.
After Pixar's successful 1988 short, Tin Toy, Disney had approached them asking them to create a completely computer animated film from a toy's perspective.
John Lasseter was super inspired by the light cycle sequence in Tron, and I did mention this in the Brave Little Toaster video, but he pitched Brave Little Toaster to be an entirely computer animated film, and he was fired for the suggestion. So he went on to found Pixar. Well, he went and worked for Lucasfilm, but then he founded Pixar, and Steve Jobs bought Pixar in 1986.
With the Pixar image computer, Lasseter produced Tin Toy in complete computer animation, which won Best Animated Short at the Oscars and was the first computer animated short to do so.
By the time Tin Toy came out, Disney had a new team, Eisner and Katzenberg, and they were desperate to get John Lasseter back. And John Lasseter said, I could go to Disney and be a director, or I can stay here and make history. So he stayed with Pixar.
Katzenberg realized this and decided to ink a deal to produce a film in partnership with Pixar.
Disney had always made animated features in-house. It was a staple of their studio. But in 1993, when Nightmare Before Christmas came out, it was revealed that Tim Burton made the film not in-house, which allowed Pixar the opportunity to do the same.
Disney became Pixar's biggest customer for the use of their CAPS computer, which made Disney very happy. However, Pixar really wanted to do a feature film with Disney and not just have them use their equipment.
Peter Schneider was super interested in creating a feature with Pixar, but Katzenberg wanted the film made at Pixar to be completely out of Schneider's purview, which obviously aggravated Schneider and caused a little bit of drama.
The producers, Jobs, Lasseter, and the animators met with Katzenberg, who were very apprehensive about having this discussion because they knew of Katzenberg's reputation of being difficult to work with, but after a long talk and discussion with Disney, they all decided to work together.
Jobs and Katzenberg went back and forth for a very long time about rights and what would be in the contract, and they finally came to an agreement, which Pixar was near bankruptcy and needed this deal, so Disney, of course, in Disney fashion, took a little bit of advantage. And some of the specifications in the deal include Disney owned the picture and characters outright. They have complete creative control. They pay Pixar 12.5% of ticket sales and revenues. And they have the option to do Pixar's next 2 films, but had the right to make sequels to that film without Pixar.
This obviously caused tension between Jobs and Eisner, but once the deal was finalized, an idea feature called Toy Story was started.
The original treatment was actually an expansion of Tin Toy, the short they had created, and its main character Tinny went on an odyssey adventure with his ventriloquist sidekick, and Woody was the villain.
Disney eventually gave creative control to Pixar. Katzenberg suggested they make the film more of a buddy comedy, so then he suggested watching classic buddy movies, which then the next treatment is more like what we see in the film today.
Once the story was laid out, they decided Tinny was too antiquated and they wanted to modernize him, so they made him a military action figure with a space theme that was originally called Lunar Larry, then Tempest for Morph, and then Buzz Lightyear. His colors were purple and green because John Lasseter's wife's favorite colors were purple and green.
Woody was inspired by a Casper doll that Lasseter had. Originally, he was a ventriloquist dummy, but Bud Lucky suggested he have more of a cowboy theme, and Lasseter loved that. And he eventually became no longer a dummy and just had a pull string.
The team writing the script had no experience writing a feature script, so they had really great pieces but were having trouble tying it all together, so they brought in Joss Whedon, who added Rex and took away Buzz being dim-witted and self-aware and made him unaware that he was even a toy, and it, quote, transformed the movie.
The script was greenlit in '93. Lasseter had always imagined Tom Hanks playing the voice of Woody. Billy Crystal was approached to be the voice of Buzz, but he did turn it down and eventually later regretted it, hence why we see him in Monsters, Inc. Bill Murray, Chevy Chase, and Jim Carrey were all considered for the voice of Buzz, but eventually Lasseter offered it to Tim, and he accepted.
In order to convince Tom Hanks to accept the role of Woody, Lasseter animated scenes of Turner and Hooch, and it sold Tom Hanks on the role.
Every meeting Pixar had with Disney to show reels, Katzenberg would rip it apart, saying it needed to be edgier. And Hanks even said that Woody's character was just a jerk.
In November of 1993, the Black Friday incident occurred. They were showing some reels to execs, and Katzenberg asked, "Why is this movie so bad?" To which Thomas Schumacher responded, "Because it's not their movie anymore. It's not the movie John Lasseter set out to make." Lasseter was so embarrassed that the movie had become so hateful and filled with unhappy characters, he asked for 2 weeks to completely rework the script.
When production stopped for 2 weeks, Jobs funded the film himself, but then after 3 months, Pixar finally came back with a more wise and caring character in Woody and an even more oblivious Buzz who didn't know that he was a toy. And then by February 1994, the film was back in production.
27 animators worked on the film, and they were dedicated to really making a lot of details shine. They added scuffs on the doors and the trim, they wanted reflections, the texture of clothing, all of it. They really wanted a lot of detail. Woody was the most difficult character to animate. Every slide of animation had to go through 8 different teams. It took a week to complete 8 seconds of animation to match the mouths moving to the actor's dialogue. 3 minutes were completed every week. Only 3 minutes of the film. And it really came together in the editing room. Everyone said the film was in pieces. They were really worried that it wasn't good and that it was just going to be a mess, but the editors really made it shine.
The marketing for the film was crazy, out of this world. They were adamant about obviously doing commercials, but also being there with McDonald's. You know, you think of it and name it, they did it. And when it came to the film's release, there was actually 2 releases. One that Disney did, you know, very normal in Hollywood, and then the very next day, Steve Jobs had his own private release, which really didn't help the Disney-Pixar fight that was going on.
The film received 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It received crazy critical acclaim. People praised the animation, they praised the acting, they praised everything about it. They thought it was innovative. They thought Pixar was here to stay. It took $30 million to make, and it made $373.6 million in the box office.
From Toy Story, 3 sequels were created, and so was a Disney on Ice Toy Story.
Buzz Lightyear Star Command: The Adventure Begins was a spin-off direct-to-video release. It also has a lot of short films. There are a lot of TV specials. They have their own theme park now. They got Toyland or whatever. And also they're part of Pixar Pier in Disneyland. And much more, obviously. But also To Infinity and Beyond has obviously become such an impact on culture. You say To Infinity and Beyond, everyone knows what you're talking about.
For those wondering, Disney didn't buy Pixar until 2007. Cheers.
Notes time. I don't have very many notes. But I will say, Toy Story's never been a favorite of mine. I didn't grow up watching it a lot. I think there are reasons for that now after watching it. I will say, after watching it as an adult, I found it incredibly charming, and I totally get what the whole hype about Toy Story is. And I've never hated Toy Story. I would watch it if people wanted to watch it. It just was never one that I went back to, and I found myself rarely ever seeing it. So I probably haven't seen this movie since I was young. I remembered almost none of it. I remembered the big things, like, you are a toy! Like, the whole, you know, second half of the film. The first half of the film, like, the birthday party, the staff meeting, him pushing Buzz out the window on accident, I remembered none of that.
Yeah.
And, Sid's terrifying. It's just, like, there's so much to this film that I think probably affected why I didn't want to watch it. I had a fear of talking dolls when I was little because I saw a piece of Chucky when I was way too young, and then a doll I had that spoke from my closet in the middle of the night, and that was kind of it for me on speaking toys. So I think Toy Story and like just Sid creating those scary toys impacted me when I was younger and kept me from wanting to ever rewatch it. But now I think it's adorable. I think it's very charming.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I haven't watched Toy Story, at least the first one, all the way through, sat down like that in a long time, probably since I was a kid. And I have an older brother, as you know, so we're pretty close in age, so it was kind of like I just kind of watched whatever he wanted to watch or whatever, and he really loved this movie as a kid, so we watched it quite a bit. So I think naturally it's definitely like a huge one for nostalgia for me. But watching it now as an adult, it was definitely, like, I agree, very charming, like so cute the way it opens up with Andy, like having all the boxes around and playing with the toys and giving them all the voices. Like that was very cute. And I can remember, like, granted I didn't have like all those types of toys, but my brother definitely had the Buzz Lightyear with the spaceship, which was super cool. But I remember I would put like my little like Polly Pockets or like, you know, those Fisher Price like dudes. Like I would stick them in there, or my Barbies. Like
I had,
of course,
yeah, of course,
and just like kind of play like that. So it was definitely very cute and reminded me of that, you know, and being a kid. So that was really sweet.
Yeah. I also think you mentioned the toy puns that just go over your head as a kid. Yes. But as you're watching it as an adult, you're just like, oh my god. And just some of the lines in general. Like, what I want to say I can't, because there are preschool toys present. You're like, oh my gosh, Woody, that is inappropriate.
Yeah,
It's
good.
So good. And just some of the, like, cleverness, just, like, the army man being stepped on, and then it's like, he's like, no man left behind,
Yeah.
like, and the medic is treating him, and, like, the walkie-talkie, we're definitely a baby monitor, like, it's just, it's so prime, and, like, Rex being so concerned that he's not scary enough when it's, like, and it's just the cleverness of all of that aspect of it is amazing. There, I do want to quick say, there's a Mickey Mouse, like, watch clock on the wall. Hakuna Matata is on the radio toward the end in the car when the daughter is in the front seat in a car seat.
Problematic.
And yeah, just a little bit. And there's a book on Andy's shelf called Tin Toy, written by John Lasseter.
You know, when we talked about the whole, like, marketing thing and how they really went crazy with it, like, they totally did, because I remember as a kid, like, we had the Woody doll, and we had a Buzz Lightyear in the ship, like, as I was saying with my brother, but, like, we had Buzz Lightyear walkie-talkies, and...
I remember the walkie-talkies.
Yes!
Wow.
And, like, when you said walkie-talkie, I was like, wait a second, we had, like, Buzz Lightyear walkie-talkies, and I'm pretty sure they had, like, aliens on them.
That's amazing. Eric was way too old to have any of those toys, and I wasn't super into Toy Story, so I didn't have any of those toys. But I did, Paul and Emery got a Buzz Lightyear.
Yes.
So I did see that, and it was big. They were big. Hi. Hello. We're being invaded.
You too.
And I love you. Yes. Yes, I love you, but now get out. We need to talk about Sid. And all the concerns I have for his parents letting him be like that. And then the unending years of therapy he's going to be in because the toys did that to him. I did not remember the toys doing that to him, and I think that was probably on purpose. I think my little kid brain was like, And oh my god, poor Sid will be, like, he will never be able to play with a toy again. Which, like, I get that he was destroying the toys, but at the end of the day, he didn't know the toys were alive. Like, he was just doing him, which was scary, but it was him. And, he, like, if he ever has kids, he'll never buy them toys. Like, he's like, he'll be in grocery stores, buy toys, like, they're alive, they're watching me. And, like, that's horrifying, because there's no way. Like, he was too old to, like, forget that and go to therapy and be like, oh, yeah, it wasn't real, you're right, it was just, like, a bad dream or something. Like, he will remember that forever.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
I mean, I feel like I remember a little bit of, like, Woody coming to life, but I don't know. I don't remember it, like, that well to that detail of, like, what actually happened there with Sid, and I totally agree with you. Like, when you're little, you're like, yeah, he deserved that. He's, like, being mean to those toys. But you're right. Like, he has no idea that, like, these toys are alive.
Feeling everything he's doing to them.
Like,
and, like, yeah, what he's doing is really messed up, but that's, like, his parents should be like, hey, don't destroy these things we got for you.
Right, especially the way he is with his little sister's toys. Like, why isn't there a little more discipline with
why
that?
isn't it even being addressed? It's, like, really sick what he's doing.
The amount of
tools
in his bedroom, and he has his own vice grip, and, like, drills, and the amount of locks on his door.
And he's easily, like, 8 or 10?
Maybe
12?
At the most 13. But, like...
Yeah. I mean, he's older than Andy.
Yes, for sure.
But he's, like, not old. Like, he's not a teenager.
I mean, he was old enough to go to Pizza Planet
alone
on a skateboard by himself.
Some people, I mean, back in the 90s, some people were letting their kids walk home from school at 8.
I walked home at school at, you know...
That's what I'm saying. So, like,
But I wasn't home alone. Like, I didn't walk to my house. I walked to my babysitter's.
Okay, well.
So, I mean...
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
No matter what, he'll remember, and it'll stay with him, and it's terrifying. And his parents shouldn't have been letting him do that. Yeah. It's a little sick.
Yeah. Speaking of being kind of mean,
Woody.
Yeah.
the toys to Woody and Woody.
Yeah.
They definitely, obviously, he was a jerk in the original, like, whatever, and they all hated it.
Right.
And they definitely, obviously, died that down. And what's hilarious is I only remember Woody as, like, the kind, always trying to do everything. So when I watched it, I was like, yo, Woody's kind of a turd blossom in this movie. But the other toys are worse. They're straight savage to Woody. Woody is obviously their leader. They all love Woody. He does, like, the staff meeting. He's the best because he's the best loved toy. Mm-hmm. So, like, they all respect him. But the second they think he shoved the new toy that they're all, like, new toy about out the window, they turn on him so fast instead of listening to him explain himself. And then the rest of the film, they won't listen when he's like, no, Buzz is right there. Like, literally Buzz is right there. I'm trying to save his life. And they're like, no, throw him off the freaking truck. Savage, these toys.
But, like, Mr. Potato Head and Ham are the ones, like, pushing that. Like, no,
Slinky and Bo Peep are definitely, like, more towards
and
Woody's
even
side.
Rex. Like, hi, Woody!
Well, Rex, I don't like confrontation. He's just too afraid of anything. Yeah. They're just, but also I think it's funny because that's exactly how kids would be. So I'm wondering if because they're toys for kids, that's like how they're supposed to act. But then when you think that, you're like, okay, how does Woody know how to do literally everything? He can read. He can trick kids into leaving their room thinking it's a parent calling them. He can open a moving truck door.
He's so strong.
The little sister gets a Mrs. Potato Head, and Mr. Spell in the background goes hubba hubba. And I think that's hilarious and adorable.
Yeah, that was really cute. Definitely, obviously, watching it now as an adult with a more critical eye, like, noticing things like the Mickey clock and even like the detail of the mom's shirt at the end when she's tucking in Andy. I was like, wow. Like, they did a really good job. And all the toys, obviously, like, this is the newest technology, so it's very impressive to think, like, of it in its time. And it's obviously spent a lot of time on the toys, and not as much time on the humans, to say.
Andy's horrifying. Sid is horrifying.
Yes.
The mom is, like, the best looking because you never see her up close.
Yeah.
But
and you never see her face.
You do see her face. But not up
in
close.
the car. Yeah.
Well, you see her, but also, like, when she's calling him down for the birthday party.
Yeah.
You see her face and
stuff.
But
mostly,
not a lot. Yeah.
Mostly, which I think is great, like, because it's the point of view of the toys, like, they're mostly focusing on the children, but also, like, all you see is basically their feet, which is very cool and well thought out. But, yeah, the humans in general are not greatly animated. I do like Toy Story.
Me too. I thought Toy Story was good.
Yeah.
I definitely have a better opinion of it now than when I was younger.
Yeah.
That's it. What would you rate it?
Probably 7 or 8.
I give it 8 toys out of 10.
Nice.
Total movie count is... Parent death toll and cry count are both the same because we don't know where Andy's dad is, and obviously none of the toys have parents. If you want to keep up with what movie I'm watching when, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. You'll find a movie I'm watching when. I put up videos every Monday and Friday and sometimes on Wednesday. You can't follow Mariah on anything, so just give her a hi hello in the comments. Or a high five to the screen. Break your screen, blame it on her.
Don't send me any bills.
Kidding. Join my Patreon because it's really cool over there and lots of fun things are being announced because Celebration Month is coming. So, until next time, come like, subscribe, and I'm sure you are, so you, and don't be Sid about it, I want to say, but also, like,
don't be Mr. Potato Head about it.
Don't be Mr. Potato Head about it. He's kind of the kiss in the butt. Freaking what?
The Screen was greenlit in 93.
Script.
Screen.
Wow, thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.